Normally put it there. All right. Who's going to share how they went with their lesson for the week?
I'll start. I mean, I had a pretty good week actually. I caught myself several times, not only in my internal world, in my own thinking without anybody around, and um, going on a rampage, and well, not a rampage, but starting to criticize in my internal self-talk. And I've been catching myself pretty successfully and saying, nope, see oneness, just see oneness. That's a path back to God. Just see oneness. And so I have done that more consistently than this week than I probably ever have before. So I feel really pretty good about it. And Robert and I've been supporting each other too, and which is, he'll say if I go down the track, he'll say you're judging. I'm like, okay, okay, okay. Just see oneness, just see oneness. So it's been really good. So we've been supporting each other in that to remain condemnation free.
Mm, wow.
Nice.
Mhm.
I feel different.
How-
Way less, way more peace,
Mm,
limited to very marginal fear, and happier.
mm,
So everything the course says about, not judging, it's a gift to yourself. It truly
Mm.
is a gift to yourself.
yeah, it
So
is.
I'm all about that as a meditation, a walking meditation
Mm.
is just acceptance.
Mm.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Share mine.
When you're saying that, I can't help but think of how when we allow, when we surrender, it's not really surrender like surrender Dorothy or anything like that. It's but the act of that is so freeing because what we're doing is we're allowing that person to grow.
Mm.
And with the lack of condemnation, they can grow.
Mm.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we
and
kind
we
of
do too.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
win-win. Yeah.
will support that person in staying stuck if we're condemning them. We're literally feeding um that aspect of themselves.
Yes.
And we're
Yes.
also feeding that aspect in ourselves because really there's only ourselves that we see. So all around, to stay condemnation free is I think I personally think it's an excellent spiritual practice. I
Yes.
never considered it as a spiritual practice before, but I really do believe it is a spiritual discipline.
Right. Right.
God in all things and to condemn nothing, which means I'm
Mm-hmm.
choosing to see perfection everywhere. And it's particularly interesting to be doing it now in the political, atmosphere of America. Um,
Mm,
but
true.
I'm finding it uplifting to do that.
Mm.
Adding years to your life with us too.
Yay.
Getting rid of that stress, that frustration, just no judgment, accepting the experience as it is and just loving the moment for what it is. It's great.
There's nothing like it. Yeah, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's funny,
Mm.
Jane, when you said surrender, because in our conversations, surrender means something different to what um, the general public considers surrender to be. Like, we don't consider surrendering to be giving up, whereas often that's what surrender means in normal conversation. Yeah,
Exactly. Yes.
not
No,
giving up
without
at
it.
all.
I caught
Hmm.
something the other day that it was just simply saying, I can't do this on my own. Just being open to receiving that help from whatever source of energy it comes from, God or a friend.
Because you're not doing it on your own.
Yeah. No.
That's when you realize you're not doing it on your own.
Yeah.
That ego likes to make you think you're all alone in this world and you can't do this, that, and the next, and just go stay in that little bubble and don't get hurt.
Right.
Separation.
True.
Right.
Not true.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I'll share
Love
my
it.
lesson. I actually left the call with my lesson being creation shares power and never usurps, but it was a bit hard to put that into a lesson. So I chose my next one. Where is your mind obsessing? Is this your ideal? And that was way more helpful. And I didn't actually stop myself during the day, but in the morning I'm journaling and I'm thinking, how did that go? And it's like I'm not really obsessing. I've got lots of different things that take up my day, and I'm in the moment with them. So I feel like I'm doing quite well with that actually. But my next step is so whatever I'm obsessing about, am I actually taking action on it?
I just had this thought, you guys. I'm I'm sitting here thinking, you know how we all obsess? We get these thought forms and we just will obsess on them. Why can we not obsess over God?
Mm.
Like, why can't we become obsessive over gratitude for the life
Hmm.
we've been given, for the love we've been given, for the food we eat, the air we breathe, the beauty we see? Why can't we become obsessive about God?
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think maybe I just found my lesson for this coming week. How
Have a
to be
lesson done
obsessive
already.
about God. I'm writing that down.
I kind of feel like that's what I'm doing because when I start doing my little journaling about what have I obsessed about, and it turns into a gratitude journal.
Yeah.
Mm. Right.
It's almost like a walking practice where I just talking to my, not really myself, but talking to God. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. Allowing this,
Hmm.
this beauty, that thing, just for everything that comes my way. And the only times I'm not doing it is when my brain's running around talking all sorts of crazy crap about things that frustrated me for a moment and working through them. And then I get right back on track and life is good again.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have you back, Joe.
I
Okay.
don't think we give up anything unless we find something better to take its place. And
True.
I really feel like this loving what is thing that we're all attempting to do really is not that difficult to do from the perspective that it feels so much better.
Hmm. Right. Even Alcoholics Anonymous, tells its people that, you're giving up this, uh, you're giving up the alcohol, but please don't kid yourself and know, and you need to be aware that you're going to be looking for another addiction, most likely.
Yeah.
And whatever that is. And so I think it's the same, equal opportunity for gratitude. Um, I know myself, some years ago, I was in such a gratitude state of mind, um, that I forgot to ask myself what's not working for me.
Mm.
And that was kind of interesting because, um, being in gratitude, I was able to, focus nicely, and I felt good every day, every night, every day, every night. I was on such a roll for months and months, And but then there were some things that I didn't look at because I was just in gratitude. I was obsessed, with it. But that's okay. It all worked out, and then I had to make some changes and so on. So, all is well.
Well, my lesson from last week was when you do not value yourself, you become sick, but my value of you can heal you because the value of God's Son is one. So, sick, as far as sick physically goes, everyone around me, apart from Swabby, has been sick, and him and I have maintained our healthiness. So I'm very proud of that for a start.
Mm.
Because that's been going on for a few weeks now. But I think mentally as well, just realizing about the reality that what you see isn't always the reality. And I had a lesson with that the other day when Swabby was feeling, well, he was just being very obtuse and uninterested, which is not really like him because, as you were talking about before, he loves life. We go to bed at night and he'll say, "Oh no, that's another day over." Like he just loves the interaction every day. He loves the people that he meets. He loves life. We love the birds. We love the life. And then I found out later on that day that a friend of his had died, and his way of coping with that is to shut off from the world. Not in a bad way though, but his words become quite harsh when he does speak. So once I found that out, I was able to realize the situation, and then he did apologize for being not attending, basically. So, and this friend of his, I had actually met this person a couple or three times, so I had a few tears with that too because he was just a young guy. But it just seemed to me that mentally I am starting to look at things differently, taking my time with it more and realizing that the reality that I'm seeing isn't actually the reality. So when I read that sentence, I realize that it all is all just, you just need to sit back and understand that there's situations that go on and that people go through different things. So it is that I was judging and I was condemning. So I've learned a big lesson out of that.
So it wasn't
Awesome.
personal at all.
That's great.
Yep.
It wasn't about you.
Good stuff.
This is the
Yep.
thing though, people are hurting and we don't realize, and they're being horrible, but they're hurting.
Yep. Yep. And the situation could happen again. Who knows? But we did talk about it the other night. So when it was the following day that we had a good talk about it, and when I found out who the person was, and I said to him, I know that you were hurting now. I know that you were hurting yesterday. It didn't seem like that to me, and your friends noticed as well. So to talk about it, whether it's with me or whether it's with one of your friends, but just get it out of your head. If you cry, you cry. It's okay for a man to cry. It's not an issue. It's a very cleansing process, and it's something that needs to be done. So, yeah. So I feel that we both learned a lot out of it, and while we're living together, we're still adjusting to two different lifestyles coming together and creating it's a bit like Play-Doh, you know. It's sort of like everything every day is a different molding process of the Play-Doh, just to see how it ends up at the end of the day. So it's interesting.
Mm.
Just as long as you keep the conversation going, you'll be fine. I think it takes 7 years of living with someone to really know them. And once you're through the 7 year mark, you pretty much have seen everything you will ever see. And as long as you can talk through it and get clarity, you'll be just fine.
Yeah, and that's the
It's really,
beautiful thing.
yeah, it's really worth working through, Linda. It's because once you do, it's a thing that you'll be the most proud of.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
So do you think that's where the 7 year itch came in?
I don't know. That's just what it was with me. 7 years in, I was like, I finally could say to Robert, I adore you and I love you and I'm never leaving.
Yeah,
So,
Right. Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
but
Before
cycles, they
that,
talk about the 7 year cycles of everything. So you
yeah,
know, it's a thing. Mm.
Mm.
It
it is
is
a
a
thing.
thing. Hmm. And Linda, I like that you said um, that it could happen again. It's like, yeah,
Mm.
and it probably will. And you don't have to run. Nobody has to run away. And as you're saying too, Gary, just keep talking, and the sense of pride and fulfillment, with each and every time there's a hurdle. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in that vein right now too, and experiencing that. So it's like, yep, you're speaking my language.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, life, it's a funny, great thing, isn't it?
It is. It
Yes, it
is.
is.
Yeah.
Joe, how did you go?
I have two written down, and I don't recall if I gave one or both.
Hmm.
So I'll read them both. All form of idolatry are characters of creation, which I kind of just look back at and laugh after I looked up all the words and full grasp their meanings. So yeah, the other is peace comes from God through me to you. And I think that's the one I did because that's most I can resonate with is just being that light, shining for others in their moment of need, like Linda was just going through. And just being there, as Gary says, accepting them for who they are in that moment, not judging, just allowing them to be. It's all perfect. It's all divine. It's all God's thing. And if I can shine that back out into the world, it just helps make it a better place.
Mm. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Jane's
beautiful.
disappeared. What are we seeing? The ceiling? She's gone somewhere. Shall we start reading?
Sure.
Yes.
Get a
And
few
it looks like
paragraphs in.
we were up to number 7. So how
Yeah.
interesting is that?
Talking about 7, yeah.
Yeah.
Gary, do you want to start us?
I will.
Cool.
When a brother is sick, it is because he is not asking for peace and therefore does not know he has it. The acceptance of peace is a denial of illusion, and sickness is an illusion. Yet every son of God has the power to deny illusions anywhere in the kingdom merely by denying them completely in himself. I can heal you because I know you. I know your value for you, and it is this value that makes you whole. A whole mind is not idolatrous and does not know of conflicting laws. I will heal you merely because I have only one message, and it is true. Your faith in it will make you whole when you have faith in me.
Wow, that's lovely, isn't it?
Hmm.
That really is lovely.
whenever I read something about like miraculous healings or instantaneous healings, I know it's possible. I've had one or two in my lifetime, but when someone is, I've known many people in the AIDS crisis that had, well, there was a whole entire movement created by Louise Hay that you can heal yourself, and everyone died. Like everyone died. She took 12 young men who were diagnosed with AIDS and told them you can heal yourself, and every one of them died. I knew the last one in that group. And I look at that and I know that it was not at the resonance of the Course in Miracles, whatever Louise was teaching at that time. It was not at this high of a resonance. It did not have to do with this love of God. It had more to do with the power of your own thinking, which is never at a high enough resonance to heal. If anyone's ever had an experience in the body where you feel the love of God so greatly that you're humming, like there's this like 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 just like weeping tears of gratitude, that raises your vibration really high, and then disease cannot exist in that. But anything lower than that, I don't think that you can heal your body with your thoughts. But with a high vibratory resonance of love for God, I think it's possible. And I believe this is what this is saying.
I agree with you, Gary, because I remember, what was it, 25 years ago when I, picked up You Can Heal Yourself, or maybe it was 30
Mhm.
years ago with Louise Hay. She accentuated the whole loving yourself. You must love yourself and do mirror work and so on and so on. And the vibration just is not strong enough. It's good. It's positive. It's nice. Um, it's a start. Um, so yeah, I'm glad you said that. Um, but yet everything really does come down to what is my relationship with God? What is the relationship with myself and my God? And knowing that you're just, we're servants. Um, how may I be of service today? You know, um, and that's a good feeling. To me, that's connection. So
You know,
thank you for
I,
bringing that up.
you're welcome. I have this thought coming in. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole too far, but the thought I had was that people can't get into that love of God if they've never actually really wanted it. If they
Mhm.
haven't really wanted it, it doesn't show up in a way that is readable, that is deeply experiential.
Mhm.
And I've had people ask me, having gone out on vision quests and um, the whole squirrel story. It's like you have to deeply, profoundly long for God, whether it's out of your suffering or it's out of love, and it will give you a miracle. It will give you a miracle. And if people do not want that connection that badly, it doesn't show up. It doesn't just show up because we say it does. It shows up because there's a deep, profound longing, generally caused by suffering, that we want that experience above all other experiences. And when we have that one pointed desire for God and God alone, that is when we start to have miraculous experiences. Now, I've never seen it, well, it's never come to me unless I've been in that state of of desperation. Maybe it does with other people, but it certainly never has for me. And I see people and they're like, they look like Bambi in the headlights when I talk about the love of God. They're like, I don't get that. Like, I don't get it because I've never had an experience of it. So what am I longing for? Right? A concept that I've read in a book. It's like, what am I longing for? But there is this power that is divine, that is sacred, that is internally and unconditionally loving. And if we don't want it, like if we're sitting here going, I don't understand that really, I don't experientially understand it, it's probably because we haven't spent enough time longing for it because we've been satisfied with other things. When nothing else satisfies and we turn our face there, that is when we start to go, wow, because then things will show up if you have this one pointed longing. It's like pursuing a lover. The lover doesn't think you're serious if you're not pursuing them. So
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I have that same
Yeah.
sense about our devotion to God. When we really just want that, miracles can happen. So I
Mm.
just want to state that. I don't even know why I wanted to state that. But when I read that, I just thought, this is why people can't heal themselves because they actually don't have this faith, because they don't have the faith, because they've not longed for it deeply, more profoundly enough to be given the evidence that it actually does exist.
Mm.
Hard to believe in something that you never experienced before.
That is the
Yeah.
gospel truth.
As
Yeah.
Wayne
Have
Dyer
they
used to say,
experienced
you've
it?
got to, what was
You
that,
know,
Linda?
have they experienced it? Like, isn't there some moment in their life where they've stood out on a cliff top and looked at a gorgeous sunset and watched the birds fly by, or and it's taken their breath away? I mean, there's got to have been something in every single person's life where they've just gone, whoa,
I
isn't
think
that
we
amazing?
all have had that to some degree. Or I don't think, I always think that whenever I'm thinking about and longing for God, it is a reflection of God longing for me.
Yeah.
Like it
Mm.
isn't like
Mm-hmm.
me doing it. It's like God is longing for me to return home.
Hmm.
So,
Mm.
I'm
Right.
not taking that kind of egocentric credit, like, oh, look how much I'm longing for God. It's like, no, God is longing for me, and I get to be eternally grateful for that.
Hmm.
Mm.
Just another way
I
of thinking.
and I think, we talked before about um, with God, why people don't have a longing for God. I think personally, I just think it's because of the word. Because in my growing up, religion, let's talk about religion, was it was something that we weren't really interested in, but I found out years later on that mum was quite interested in it. And I do remember as a kid her teaching Sunday school classes. Um, but there just seems to be this attachment with that word where people go, oh, I don't believe in that. And so it wasn't until um, I actually found the word, and that was through the stuff that we were doing with Sandra, source. And that became the word that was the word that I was comfortable using for the all encompassing, almighty, whatever it was that I talked to, that I put my faith in. When I talk to Swabby about God, he goes, oh, God. So it's the same sort of thing. And I think so I just say to Swabby, well, it's not about God, it's about whatever that is. And then we talk about that because he does believe in that. He does believe that the universe is, there's something there. Um, so I just think it's that attachment with the word God, which is why I struggled when we first started doing this group, when I talked to V about it and said, well, why do we want to talk about God? It just wasn't something that I was interested in. Now, 2.5 years later or 3 years later, and now I don't have an issue when I hear the word, but I still understand that unattachment that people have to the word.
Mm.
Mm.
But it is a way of encompassing it all. It is a way of actually talking about what that greater power is.
Yeah, I had
For
negativity. I had to reword. I think was it Jane or I don't know who was. Oh, might have been Wendy who doesn't come anymore. But she said every time you have something about a word in here because it's a religious connotation, just put in love.
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
but Linda, for my son's perspective, so my son's 16. He spent 7 years in Catholic school. His mother's side pushed him to be baptized and all of that. Um, he struggles to believe in God because
Mm.
he hasn't experienced God. He doesn't feel God. He questions, why do these things happen to me? If, like most people say, if there's a God, why is there so much suffering type of thing? And trying to talk him through understanding that these lessons, help you grow and become stronger. And, you can call out to God to help you through these moments to give you strength and all of that. And he's just not grasping it yet. So, how to talk to him about it and help him experience like a godly experience is has been challenging.
I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what I was trying to say when I was saying things is the experience that we've had with people who have been, you know,
Yeah,
God lovers who are just not very nice people. You know what I mean? Like they've,
Mm-hmm.
they've they preach things and they don't they walk it, they don't they talk it, they don't walk it. And
yeah, they don't
so
practice what they preach.
so there's just a lot of lack of respect there because of that, which is why the Course of Miracles, in my mind, is the complete opposite of what the Bible
I
said. Not that I've
I
read the whole Bible.
I categorize it as two different things. You have the people preaching religion, wanting to beat you with the Bible. To me, that's just a religion. That's somebody telling you to believe into a God, and here's reasons why we're going to scare you into it. But when you actually like in the Course of Miracles, it's more of like a spiritual, it's more of believe in God, not what man is telling you about God. And it's a totally different perspective or perception of how to hold faith in something that you have not yet experienced or are experiencing and growing deeper into that experience.
Yeah. And
You
look,
know,
I do
I,
apologize if I offended anybody by saying what I said, but it's from my
oh,
own
not at
personal
all.
experience.
Not at all.
And
Not for a second.
it's a word now that when you mention God, I don't have that cringy sort of feeling with it now because I've accepted it that it's for myself. It is a word that is used to encompass everything that I believe in, everything that I love, everything that I care about. It's the word that the majority of the population use for that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
For
I,
for
thank you.
me,
I,
go ahead, Gary.
I really do think that the Course in Miracles is the only true teachings of Jesus.
I
I
agree.
Mm-hmm.
really believe that.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I saw a video today that just blew me out of the water because of a variety of different experiences I've had recently with white nationalist evangelical Christians. And this one woman, black woman, got on. I've never heard anyone describe it like she described it, which was that the Bible or Christianity has spread not because it is a holy religion, it's because it is a religion of brutality and domination and force and genocide. And
Mm.
wherever there were indigenous peoples that resisted, they were slaughtered, and their entire cultures were suppressed by Christianity. And it's true. And then she went on to say that all the rituals and all of the myths in Christianity were taken from religions and thought systems hundreds, sometimes thousands of years before Christianity was even created. Like the god Dionysius, the Pope or the Emperor Constantine, 300 years after the death of Christ, took the god Dionysius and matched him with Jesus. Dionysius died for your sin, born of a virgin birth, rose from the dead. Then made Jesus, rose from the dead, born of a virgin birth. And the whole thing is an exact match of ancient pagan religions that Christianity took the myths from, installed it into the metaphors of Christianity, and constructed a religion based on geopolitics and misogyny. And that is what we have currently
Mm-hmm.
as modern day Christianity. So when I look at what we're doing here, although I know we're off topic, but when I look what we're doing here, we're really attempting to understand the true heart and soul of what Jesus meant by his teachings. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
this is kind of a sacred thing that we're doing because
Mm-hmm.
99% of the people, I've got lovely people on my street that just went to Kentucky to look at the Ark, a replica of Noah's Ark
Okay.
with animals. And they're going to come back all like uplifted and, yay, Jesus, I'm on the Jesus team, and that's fine. But when I look at it, I'm thinking, how can I really be close to these people? Because what they are encased in is fundamentally a geopolitical religion that has been formed by the quest for power, wealth, and control.
Man-made creations.
It is a
Mm.
completely made up religion.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
And and
And
Mm-hmm.
it's I won't say it's upsetting to me, but the oppression is is how can I say this consciously, is perfect for this point in human evolution.
Mm. Right. Yeah. That's the truth.
I just need to know where I am with it and where I stand with it. And the bottom line is people are at the point of whatever developmental stage they are spiritually, they'll be attracted to where they're attracted. But that doesn't change the facts.
Right.
That's
Doesn't
beautiful
change the
share,
facts.
Gary. I was gonna say, like my view of God is not of a religious viewing. My view of God has
Mhm.
become like God is this energetic source that surrounds me, that fills me, that is everything around me. And you wouldn't
It
hear
is
any
you, Joe.
preacher, right? But you wouldn't hear any preacher of any religion say that because they want to keep you scared so they can keep that tithing come in, so they can keep you as a follower and believing whatever nonsense they want to fill you with.
Yeah.
over a percentage of
Well,
your wages.
Right.
yeah,
But I think it's really important we walk a fine line from the perspective that we're talking about what the historical truth is, but we need to do it without condemnation. We really need to do
Mm.
that because if we speak of these things with condemnation, we are putting ourselves in that same energetic,
Yes,
which
that's true.
is not what we're attempting to do. The energetic gets to be, it's perfect for the people who are following it now
mhm.
because that is the degree of development they have.
Yeah,
And they
I
need to
started
play.
I started in Christianity. That's where I started finding God. I'm not dissing religion, but for where I am now, I've
Oh
kind of
yeah,
grown
for sure.
past their teachings. I've fallen deeper into what God is for me and how it best fills me with what I have now, which is
Yeah.
a lot better than where I was running off of ego.
And I will
Mhm.
say, you've come a long way, Joe. We all have, I think.
Mm,
And I just think that for each one of us to understand the sanctity of what we're doing here, although
Mhm.
we've only
Mhm.
read one paragraph tonight.
No, but I have to say, I love that we are so called off topic because I think we are so on topic,
I
yes,
do too.
absolutely. Yeah, totally.
right?
Good
And
point, Jay.
I just want to share this because I think this is kind of interesting. I was raised in Catholicism, And I was one of the luckier ones. As a young girl, I did a lot of reading. My mother, even though I went to a Catholic elementary school and a high school, I feel like I was taught very well, and I feel like I was taught um, rightly. So, to the point where, as a young girl, I mean, I remember being that 5-year old, 6-year old, 8-year old, 10-year old, and being filled with the Holy Spirit, being filled with awe, being filled with tremendous love, being filled with, when that priest would hold up the host, and this is the body of Christ, it filled me. It was genuine. I was happy, um, and it was sacred. And this aligns with me. This Course in Miracles, as we're saying, is it's yes, it's truth. And it awakens that 5-year-old in me that felt so connected to my God, to my maker, to your maker, and to so and I would look around the church for a number of years and say, oh, God, that's an angry person coming to church. Oh, there's another one. Well, there's another one. And then I realized they're desperate. They need a church. They need they need a bake sale, or they need something. I don't know. Um,
Were
and
they still
and
angry
it's
when they left?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Maybe not, maybe not. And that's theirs, right? And the lack of condemnation. But the thing that I liked is that I really got it that they they're clinging, they're white knuckling their way through their life, and they're not getting the love, but it's an attempt to get something in this life. I'm going to church, damn it, because I'm desperate. And it's like, okay, you're going in the right direction, but you know so so it's interesting. It's just really interesting, how is this little girl in Catholicism uh that fared so well, and I was reached at a very young age. God got in my soul, and then that 5-year-old is still in me, and I can kneel and pray and feel the source coming to me. And not that I don't fall off and be human. Oh, yeah, but as we're saying, I think it's so marvelous that we have the Course in Miracles that can really speak the truth. As you're saying, Gary, this is what Jesus intended.
Let's read number 8 so we get at least 2 lessons in tonight.
There's something I want to share first, actually. I've been listening to
Please.
everybody, but there's this thing that I think there are people who are religious and there are people who are spiritual, and they're not necessarily have the same thing or
Mm.
understanding of anything. And there are people who are so anti-God that you just can't talk to them about it. They just shut down, they get angry. But what I try to find with people is there is something that floats their boat. There is something that raises their vibration, whether it be being out in nature, and just finding that conversation so you can lift them. Because they are spiritual. They just don't have the words for it. They have like the whole anti-God thing that Linda has and I have as well, and the anti-religious stuff. And it's like, but there's such a difference between religion and spirituality. And your spirituality might be that you love being in nature. It might be that you take care of animals. It might be that you are a great mother. These are spiritual practices, but we don't kind of address it as such. So well, my lesson will actually be to pay attention when I'm in a higher frequency because I know that I reach it and I'm just happy. And it's like,
Mm,
I wish I could bottle this. I
Yeah.
wish I could bottle it.
yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
actually think about it and go, okay, what's caused this? What am I doing to create this high vibration? I know what I'm feeling, but what's happening right now so that I can
Mm.
create more of that?
Mm. I
I
hear,
just want to ask you, do you feel like you're in like a love bubble? That high
It's
vibration.
not the
What?
words that I would use. I just feel like I'm floating, that I'm singing, a bit like what Gary was saying with the humming and the vibration. Um,
Right,
and
right.
I get that actually in the paddock and with the horses, and I even get it with the
Mm,
cats. You know, I get it with some people.
yes,
There's
yes.
times
I
where
get it in
just
nature.
speaking my gratitudes, I'll feel that feel and I'll burst out into tears and just the way I feel
Mm,
during and after, it's nothing I felt before.
oh, that's beautiful.
and I had that
And
on
so,
Saturday too. I don't know whether any of you have seen a fog bow. So like a rainbow, but it's made out of fog. And
wow.
it's
Oh,
absolutely like we were driving south on, so we were driving down to the bottom of the Boot, which is the York Peninsula that I live on in South Australia. Um, and there was, we went through fog to start with, and then it overtook us, and we could just see this big fog bank in front of us, and it headed to Adelaide, and it was getting planes diverted and all sorts of things. So it was a big fog situation. But there was this, as we're driving down, I said to Swabby, what's causing that? Like it was this really bright, bright light with in amongst the fog. And he said, well, that's the start of the fog bow. And I said, well, I've never seen a fog, but he took a photo of one that he saw a couple of weeks ago. And I thought, wow, that's incredible. But to actually see this, so this light, I've talked to you before about that, what I call the Kundalini moment, when I just feel like I am totally in oneness with everything
mm,
that's going on. And there's the
mm,
tears and it's the joyous moment. And I've had it a few
mm.
times in my life. Well, this was another moment. And then I saw another one on the other side of the road, and I said, well, I can't see the actual bow, but I can see where it starts and where it ends. And it's just the fog, but it was so bright that it was white, and it was
That's cool.
just stunning. And when it went, that feeling went. So it's,
Mm,
I sort
mm.
of felt like, wow, it would have been amazing for that to hang around a bit longer, but you still have the experience, so it still is with you,
Yeah,
obviously.
but how do you keep that feeling? Because it's not.
It's like you
It's
say, bottling
It's
it
not a
would be
material
good.
thing. You can keep that feeling and you can recreate it.
As you
That's
feel
what
it
I'm
more
getting
and
at.
more, you become accustomed to that vibration, and then you can, yes, recreate it.
Yeah,
Mm, yeah, I
we're not
agree.
going to get a chance for another one, sorry. After this. But it's been an
I was going
important
to say, we
conversation.
kind of, it's a really good
It's
paragraph.
been a great conversation, actually.
Yeah,
Mm.
been
I think
very,
it's
yeah.
great. It's wonderful.
So do we think we've raised our vibration here today?
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Oh yeah.
Wow, there you go.
I've been feeling
I'm
great
I'm
the
getting off
entire
this
call.
call. I'm getting on a pogo stick.
Literally?
Don't hit the ceiling.
No.
That's your guilty pleasure, a polo stick.
Got it. Now you
Fuck Dave.
know. Me and my pogo stick.
Well, I am sticking with the same lesson again for this week.
Cool. Well, to word mine, it is pay attention to when I reach a higher frequency, feel it completely, embrace it, and remember where it came from.
Lovely.
No. Ditto.
Well,
That's exactly right.
mine is
Go
I
ahead.
know your value for you, and it is this value that makes you whole.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Jane, did you share?
Yeah, no, mine is just V. It's all about the vibration, to know it and to have determination and faith to keep it alive, and to know that you can, and know that it's yours. And yeah, and we've just shared a most beautiful vibration.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Awesome.
think I finished it with "I love you."
Oh,
Love,
I
love to
love you.
all.
love you too. Thanks,
Who
everyone.
needs to read?
Love you guys.
Maybe we should be
Love
right.
you all.
Y'all have a great
Bye.
night.
Okay.
Thanks.
See
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
you.
Bye.